Hello and welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. In today's episode I'm returning to the Ben Lawers Range to climb Meall Lèith and Meall Corranaich. The start of today's walk is from a very small car park at the northern end of the reservoir at the Ben Lawers Dam. There is a secondary parking area on the left around 400 metres away, closer to the reservoir. Parking is free and there are no height restrictions. The smaller of the two car parks can only accommodate 6 vehicles, with each vehicle being limited to a maximum length of 5 metres. The car parking is around an hour and 45 minutes drive from Glasgow and 2 hours and 20 minutes drive from Edinburgh. The closest public toilet is in Cullen, about 15 minutes drive away. As always, links to the OS map for the route, the starting point car park and the Scottish Mountain Weather website are included in the description below. The total distance for today's walk is 9.8 kilometres, with 748 metres of ascent, and it is expected to take around 3 hours and 40 minutes to walk. This is another relatively easy walk with no rocky or exposed sections. The quality of the path is mixed, with the higher up ground being firm and easy to walk on and also easy to follow. Some of the lower sections closer to the car park are very soft areas of wet peat bog. A bit of care is needed to traverse these areas, otherwise you risk going up to your knees in a wet bog. There are only 3 points in the walk where you really need to take care to follow the correct path, and I'll point these out in the map overview and in the video from the walk. Starting from the car park, you head east only around 60 metres, and then you turn off the road to a little gravel track that is on your left hand side. You follow that track around and up to this point, and it is here where you need to make the first left hand turn. It's a very faint trail to start with, and it's very boggy, this section, so you'll see it in the video, but you just need to take care to head off north-easterly direction. The broader path continues on, that is the descent route, so you'll come back to this point later in the walk. When you head off to the northeast, there are points where it is quite mushy and quite soft and harder to follow the path because of that. When you cross the river here, you will see that there's a broad path that goes off to the hydro dam here, and it continues round this way. It's not shown in this map. So when you cross the river, you want to make sure you keep to the right and go straight up. And I'll show that in the video. This was the other tricky part because of that main path that went across here. So follow the path. It rises gradually and cuts across the side of the hillside here. Drops a very little bit to cross over this stream. And then from that point, it is a fairly steep ascent. And for that reason, that's why I recommend doing this route in this direction. As well as actually the views are better, I feel, going this way. But you'll climb up this very steep section and then you get to a very flat, broad, domed top for the first Munro. From there you head in a south-easterly direction, following quite a clear path. It then curves round a little bit to your left as it descends over this edge, and then works its way back round to the southwesterly slightly, but mostly heading south. All of this path is quite clear to follow. It's well worn into the hillside at this point. Follow that path. Now when it came to this point, this was a bit steeper, and I didn't actually spot this path that went up here that's shown on the map, so I just followed the main path that was clear and obvious, and that just takes you up slightly off the ridge. It eventually joins up to the ridge and comes up at this point here. From here the views open up of Ben Lawers and Ascent, and it's a really nice part of the country to be in. The path again continues up the ridge line. It is a bit steeper on the edge here, but you're not very close to it, so you're not exposed. And you continue to follow that path. It was quite windy when I was there on this day, and then you get up to the summit of Meall Corranaich. And you can see directly across to Ben Glass at this point. From here you turn to your right, head in a southwesterly direction and just follow the path down. There is a path that cuts across at a point around about here, just ignore that, you can see the path straight ahead. It now starts to get a bit boggier around this section just as it's coming down here. And then you work your way down, curving round to your right slightly. You can actually see the car park in the distance as you're coming down here. You can see the car park over here. Just keep following this path. It is boggy. It's not the nicest path, this section. and I would not want to be walking uphill in that because it is so heavy going. But you make your way down, following the path. It's somewhere around about here. Again, it doesn't show it in this map, but there is a path that goes straight on. When you get there, and as long as you're looking out for it, you will see that the path that goes straight on is less well worn, but it's only slightly less. The path that's on your left here as you're approaching this junction isn't much bigger, but it does look more freshly trodden than the one that goes straight ahead. So you just want to make sure you take the left at that point and then work your way down, and you'll join back up to where you started and back down to the car park. Good morning. It's 10 to 8 in the morning. I'm at the small car park for the start of this walk, and it looked like it got filled up. I got here about 7 o'clock, and by about 7:30 it was pretty much filled up. There's a tiny space at the end. Maybe if you've got one of those little Fiat 500s or something of that ilk, you might be able to squeeze in. A little bit overcast. Nice colour over there. Fairly short walk today, and also should be quite easy to navigate. Last time I did this walk was in the snow. There was no path to follow whatsoever, but from the car park you head back along the road towards Ben Lors just for a little bit. The path turns off this road in the corner just ahead. So here's where the path goes off to the left. You get a nice view down the reservoir there. Should just be a simple case of following this path all the way to the top. Just need to be careful here. This is where the return path and the ascent path join together. If you keep following the wider path, that's the descent route. You want to go to the left here and follow the narrower path. There's a bit of a boggy section that you need to cross. You can see the path right in the centre of the frame there. We're going to go round onto the side of the hillside there, and you can actually make out the path that goes up to the first summit. It's right in the middle there, summits and cloud. So that's where we're heading to, over that way. The path is fairly easy to follow. It's quite marshy, peaty and boggy. Waterproof boots are a must. Very wet. Slightly frozen today. It's not helping a great deal, to be honest. You can hear it squidgy. So you see the path ahead. I'm going to cross over the stream in a little bit and then go round and up onto the first summit. It is clearing up. Slight breeze, it's not too bad just now. Just after you cross that stream, there's a very obvious looking path that goes straight ahead there, takes you to the side of that little hydro dam there. You want to be careful that once you cross this little stream, you go up the path here on the right, and you'll see further ahead signs of the path on the hillside. Once you've made that fork in the path, it should be a straightforward follow the path to the first summit. It's clearing up on the top, not quite clear yet. Nice view of Meall nan Tramagan. The summit of Meall Corranaich is clear at the moment. You can see, maybe the camera doesn't show the perspective, but that is quite a steep pool just ahead all the way to the summit. So we'll just keep heading northeast. Just approaching the summit of Meall Corranaich. I was really hoping there'd be a nice windbreak on this one. As you can hear, the wind has picked up. Considerable wind chill. Looking across Glen Lyon, back across the Meall nan Tramagan. Ben Lars is in the direction of the sun there. Quite a lot of cloud on it just now. From here, I'm going to head directly south, very slightly east of south, but it's pretty much south, heading towards the sun. 3 kilometres, it goes down to the Bealach and then up the other side to the next top. It's taken just under an hour and a half to get to this summit. It's clearing up a little bit. It's very cold. So I'm not going to stick around here long, I'm going to head off now. So I'm going down straight ahead and then it's going to curve round to the right slightly. You can see the path going up the opposite side. A bit of cloud there. It goes up, it's not right on the edge of the ridge, and then it cuts across and the summit's up there. So Ben Lars is straight ahead and just below the sun there in the cloud. going to say I'm getting out of the wind a little bit, but it picked up when I took the phone out. Scenery here is amazing. Can just make out the summit of Ben Lars. See how cold it is up there. It's not been a difficult walk, this part. A little bit steep, but not as bad as the first ascent to the summit. We're about level with the first top. Quite clearly see the path. So there are two routes there, one that does go along more the ridge and one that cuts along a bit lower down. I took the lower of the two routes. Well, the first signs of winter. There's a summit just there. Ben Glass in the background. Then Ben Lars. You have the rest of the Lars range. Can't remember the names. Just approaching the summit of Meall Corranaich. So a little bit higher than the first top over there. I'll go over and have a look over the edge there. There is a big drop on the south side of this Munro, so just be careful. There's Ben Lars, which is clearly higher up than here. I think that's the 10th highest Munro. Oh, the wind chill's a bit cold, but at least it's not as windy as it was a moment ago. It's very easy to tag this on when you're doing Ben Lars and Ben Glass. You can see the path goes down there, a little bit steep just over the edge there, but it's not that bad. That's the way I first did this top. Walking time to the second top was probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes. From here you head directly west and follow the ridge line back down to the car park. Looks like a fairly easy descent. I don't think I've ever walked down this part before. So heading west, you can see the path ahead. Follow that down the ridge. I've hidden behind a little pile of rocks, which has got me out the wind, which is quite pleasant. I was hoping you could see the summit. It's just over there. Certainly see the other big mountains around here. Coming down, ignore this path that crosses over, it goes along there and down that ridge, probably takes you back to the Ben Lars car park. Want to keep going straight ahead, and eventually the path will curve around to the right and then head down to the car park over there. I hope to get out of this wind. It's a bit cold. It's not too much that it's pushing you over, but it is cold. I've come to the end of the marked path on the Garmin map. There's a fork here. I'm going to go left. That's the one that's more worn, and that's heading straight towards the car park. Just left at this point. Almost back at the car park, and the sun's come out. Yeah, both tops are clear now. There's a really bad peat bog here. It's very soft and about a foot deep, the soft bit. I think I'm going to run and jump across to there. I'm back at the turn off this morning on the way up, coming back down here, just about back at the car park. So just about back at the road. You can see the second car park over there. You get a few more cars in there, it's quite a big patch. So once you get back to the road here, just turn right and it's just round the corner. The car park, small car park just below that cairn there. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and I look forward to showing you more in the next one. Bye for now. It's taken 3.5 hours since I left the car park.